These bills are just too much. The mortgage guy said that we would be able to refinance and the rates would drop soon. I don't know, babe. Maybe we can refinance soon? But when? I don't know. What if rates drop 0.5%? Would it make sense then? I don't know. I guess. Well, when does it make sense to refinance? All these numbers hurt my brain. If you're like me, then you too bought a home after interest rates jumped from the lows that they used to be. And after we bought a home in 2023, it was our understanding that interest rates would come down within a year or so. Don't worry about it. But now we are over 2 years later and still no relief in sight on interest rates. So when is the best time to refinance, and what sorts of things should we consider to make sure that we're making a smart financial decision? Let's get into the numbers.
Next tonight to the home buying frenzy. The median home price now the highest on record, and houses flying off the market, making it difficult for first-time buyers.
It was 2021 and interest rates were the lowest that they had ever been in history. But inflation decided to poke up its head. Not now, inflation, your part is later. And soon, the Fed stepped in to start raising interest rates. The housing market is gonna crash! Ah! And over the next few years, housing prices stabilized, but never saw that crash people were calling for because people kept buying houses. Sure, the housing market slowed down a lot, and bidding wars became a thing of the past, but things seemed to be pretty much under control at that point. And soon, everyone buying houses assumed that interest rates, which had shot up like a rocket, would soon come parachuting back down to earth. But that didn't happen. In fact, interest rates have stayed high. And now we are left asking, when will they come down? And when will be the best time to refinance if we bought a home when interest rates were higher than they had been? And even though the temptation is to refinance the first chance that we get, the reality is it's a little more complicated than that. So theoretically, any interest rate lower than what someone currently has is better. So a 7% mortgage rate lowered to a 6.75% interest rate will result in a lower mortgage payment. But with every refinance, there are costs. So the mortgage broker has to get paid, the lawyer has to get paid, the underwriter has to get paid, the person who files the documents has to get paid. You get my point. And to refinance a loan, it can cost anywhere from 2 to 5% of that loan, according to bankrate.com. So is the amount I'm saving every month actually worth the cost I'm going to have to pay to refinance? To calculate that, we have to figure out the payback time. Now, the payback time is just the cost of the refinance divided by the amount of savings that we're going to be getting every single month because of that refinance. So if a refinance is going to cost $5,000 and our mortgage payment drops by $500 per month, then that means it would take 10 months before we break even on those costs and start to see the value of refinancing. If a refinance costs $10,000 and our mortgage payment drops $100 per month, then it would take 100 months or 8 years and 4 months before we would break even and start to see the value of that refinance. 8 years and 4 months? Most experts agree that a mortgage refinance is considered worthwhile if the payback time, which is the time it takes to recoup the closing costs through savings from the lower interest rate, is within 2 to 3 years. Meaning you should be able to make back the refinancing costs within that time frame through monthly savings. And the reason that 2 to 3 years is used is because anything could happen during that time. We could move, we could get a new job and have to go somewhere else. We have a life emergency. We have a number of other situations which would mean that all the money that we spent on that refinance would basically be completely wasted. So we have to ask ourselves, is the amount that we're going to be saving every single month with that refinance worth the amount of cost that we incur? Now, there are more complicated models that a person can use, the length of the loan, the amount of the loan, how much time we have on the mortgage, all of that. But the general rule of thumb that experts like to use is if you can save at least 1% on your interest rate, then that cost-benefit time analysis is going to be worth it almost every time. Hopefully this video was helpful. If so, make sure you give us a like, share it with anybody who's thinking about refinancing and wants to learn about the basics of when it does make sense to refinance. Don't forget to subscribe to follow more amazing financial tips just like this. Until that next video, my name is Tip.
My name is Eli.
And we'll see you next video.